And people from the UK tell us about words. Do we
Thank
know?
you.
Do we know what they call cigarettes over there?
Oh.
You know, anybody from the LGBT community in America want to go over there and tell them to change the words for their cigarettes?
Wow.
We should. We should return fire.
This dude discovered margaritas and has never been the same.
He's an alcoholic.
Spicy
All
margarita.
right, 2 quick things right off the bat. George has a camel toe. You'll notice that for the entire episode, he'll be covering it with a pillow.
Mike's been making crotch comments this whole time. I'm so glad we don't have an HR. I'll go straight to it.
I've never been so far
I'm so
away
glad
from
we
you
don't have
before. You feel you set this up in a weird
Wait,
way.
could you pan? Do I really have a camel toe? One second.
Camel toes are kind of hot.
They're in right now.
And I'm Middle Eastern, so camel toes are
Camel toes?
that like really gets us going.
Yeah, right. Nice joke. Nice cultural joke. I see.
Awesome joke, George.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
fun.
quickly, I just want to
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Mondrian on Park Avenue for hosting us for these 3 podcasts.
All right.
2 actually, because Logan canceled the boys only. Shocker. So Mondrian on Park Avenue, thanks for having us. The terrace is beautiful, and here we are, and we appreciate
Did you just say what I think you said?
What?
You just called George beautiful in a derogatory racial slur.
And said terrace.
Wait. Did you guys insert a bunch of racist comments into my mouth?
Did you just say what I think you said?
Oh, when I said the nice terrace, you thought I said he's a nice terrorist? What the?
I really like that you sided with me. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna get you one day, mother. On
I
camera.
don't know.
I'm gonna
All right,
catch you
actually,
slipping.
yes, I do. All the time.
I'm gonna catch you slipping, and I'm gonna be the first to cancel you.
Yeah.
Mike Malak is over, party. I'm bringing the
You,
pride.
you tried to cancel me on the burger post, the 6.6. You tried to. So
Mike,
wait.
Mike does these burger reviews, as you know, if you watch the Night Shift, Mike's channel on YouTube. Great channel. We love it. So do the viewers. And he has these burger reviews. He comes to New York, and he finds this guy who has these famous burgers. And the dude's like, I've been doing this my whole life. You know, my heart, my soul, my family has passed this recipe down from generation to generation. And Mike has the fucking audacity to rate this burger a 6.6.
It was the 6.6.
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't.
All right.
You were there for it, and you were happy I gave that rating. I don't want to get into it too much because it is a part of a Night Shift episode coming up, but he pulled up on me. He showed up at the fucking hotel.
He found out where Mike
found out
was.
where I was staying and went to New York on me. And I appreciate that, bro. He's like, yo, I've been doing this my whole fucking life. I wanted to come here simply to say fuck you and also to let you know that there's a burger named after you now at a restaurant.
Mike made it on a menu, a New York burger menu.
Yep,
it's
yep.
like the it's called in honor of Big Mike, the 6.6
6.6
burger.
Yeah, yeah.
They capitalized on it, and guess what? Mike rated that burger an 8.8.
Oh, yeah, don't.
It wa-
Well, whatever, it's fine.
Bro, no one fucking actually
I know.
cares about the rating. I want to save it for my channel. Shut up. Welcome back to Impulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscried. We're fired up. We got a great guest today. He's on his way. He's here.
Wait, but also wait. is
Walking
this-
up
No, but is this for
behind me.
this?
He's
Hey!
behind me.
Stop asking me questions. Is this for this episode or are we doing the insert? Or is the insert not happening? For JP.
Insert my fucking.
Yo, stop.
Nice.
Stop.
He's behind this wall. Can you hear me? Insert my fucking dick in your mouth.
What is this episode?
Why do we want a candle in here?
Who
No,
smells?
it's because he's been farting this whole
I
time.
have been too. Wait, what is this episode that we're shooting right now?
What do you mean, bro? Charlamagne the God. He's a
So we're not talking about Jake Paul case out. We're not talking about Andrew Tate called us back out because of the video I posted about him, and now he wants to buy his Bugattis. We're not talking about anything about the Jake Paul shit and putting that into the episode with the Jake Paul
I
shit.
don't want to do that.
Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Charlamagne the God on today. Logan's going to have a very well prepped way to introduce him momentarily. Now what, Logan?
Shut up.
Show George's camel toe right now. No, don't do that. Don't spread it out. Pull them up like they usually are and let that thing fucking camel, bro.
Let that toe.
Oh
camel.
my God. A male camel toe should be called a camel bro. Let
camel
that
bro.
camel bro.
I like
show.
that. I like.
Yo, there you go, baby.
Let it shine.
Let that little fucking micro penis that you said was the biggest out of the 3 of us show.
How about this,
Buddy,
I
I'll
will
show you a
literally-
picture right now that'll blow your brains out.
Listen,
I will fuck you up with my fucking
I
long
would
dick.
literally. I will put $100,000 of real cash.
Where are you gonna get
I-
that capital? You gonna get it from VC fund?
Oh,
Where are you?
Are you
gonna-
making jokes?
No, it's
about
not.
drugs?
That's a lot of money.
are you-
I would never
do
make
drugs
that.
growing up, Mike. I have money. I have a lot of money. You see, you dodged the question. I will literally record this for a club. We will show our dicks online. Are you down to put 100?
Okay, hold on. Here's my question. What is subjective?
Any size you want.
Subjectively,
Girth, length,
not
anything.
possible.
Yo, it's
on
so
length.
funny. Usually,
not possible on length.
The dick
Not
measuring
possible on length.
contest is usually proverbial. I've never seen two dudes actually legitimately
I will.
have a dick
I will
measure.
put $100,000 actual capital.
There's no. You are 4'6". There is no way your dick is longer than mine.
Put your money
It's
where your
not
mouth is.
possible. Well, fatter. I guarantee you have a fucking chode. Your shit probably looks like a tuna can.
Anything you
It
want.
probably
Length
looks
or
like
girth.
this, like a fucking flying disc.
$100,000.
An unidentified flying dick.
You have a UAP.
That you have
stock, brother.
fucking.
An
You've seen
unidentified.
my dick. You should see my dick.
I have seen it. You did the helicopter with it, and you almost took off in Park City. I remember that shit very well.
It's
bro.
true. If he gets that thing going, he can get some thrust. He can get some real lift. Enough talking about dicks.
I was just getting started.
That concern.
All right, is the guy that was supposed to be here 4 hours ago here?
Yeah, should we get him? Wait, hold on. I'm posting content online.
No.
Just 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Should me and George keep talking?
Yeah.
$100,000.
All right, listen.
No, stop. Please. Something else. Something else.
All right, we're
Tell-
not gonna have a chance to talk about this.
tell her
anytime
about that-
soon. No,
that
no,
pic-
I got something. When I go on the plane, I like to get comfortable. Maybe I'm in first, maybe I'm in economy. Depends on where I'm going. I always take my shoes off. I always take my shoes. You take your shoes off.
This
on
is
the plane,
gross.
yeah.
It's what you do.
Okay, it's what you do, right? Now, I don't always put them back on when I go to the bathroom.
It's what some do.
I walk through the plane with my shoes off, with my socks. Now I have a bunch of very specific rules about it. If I'm in economy, I probably will put my shoes back on. Does that sounds fucked up?
I think so.
People in economy piss on the floor.
They're mouth breathers.
fucking piss, floor pissing peasant.
Who knows what's going on back there?
Fucking shit.
I've seen a peacock. And
Dude, I do not. We're kidding. Before this actually becomes something, but yeah, it's also true. I don't wear my shoes in the first class bathroom, but when I'm in economy, I put them back on. Now, I also have time constraints. I will not wear my shoes in either class if it's less than an hour into the flight because there's not enough piss on the floor yet.
Oh, you're
Around an hour and a half to 2 hours in, the saturation of urine on the floor starts to stack upon itself.
okay.
I have a whole set of rules about this.
Yeah, it looks like it. I just avoid the puddles. That was my main rule.
So you stand a little cockeyed in the bathroom, yeah?
The angles I hit are impressive.
I think it tells me a lot too sometimes about the stewardess or what do they call it, flight attendant.
Yep.
When I walk out of the bathroom, what their reaction is to my sake flippers coming out instead of shoes. Like they look down and some look up at me and they're like, "All right, brother." And some look at me and they're disgusted.
Yeah.
Like you just stepped in piss, bro.
You want to hear something vile?
Yeah.
How does anybody tune into the beginning of our podcast?
They're the best parts.
Absolutely.
Bet you, all right, we're gonna put a poll up here right now. Do you guys like the boys only banter or do you like the guests better? Answer the poll. It's up at the top of the screen.
For those of you looking for the poll, we'll never put one up. You'll never actually see the poll.
Yo, Jeff hit him up the other day and goes, man, Jeff goes, yo, I think we can glean a lot of information out of a survey that asks our audience a bunch of questions about the show. And Logan goes, I'm not gonna fuck. We're doing the show we want to fucking do.
That is remotely true. I love what you guys think, but it would be a shame to cater the show to things that I'm not interested in or we aren't interested. That would suck.
Yeah.
That's like pulling teeth.
Yep.
We talk about fucking peeing on bathroom floors, economy
Dicks.
mouth breathers, and dicks.
Can we circle back to that? What does that mean, mouth breathers?
It's like when you breathe out of your mouth.
I'm pretty sure we all do that, right? Or no?
Get the frick out of here. We have an important guest and you're talking about fucking breathing? Bring in Charlemagne.
Damn, in the all blue.
Blue,
all
strong
blue.
this week.
What's up, baby? How you doing,
What's up, brother? How are you?
He looks like he's ready to start trouble, bro. He's ready to start fucking
Or sprint
trouble.
somewhere quickly. Quickly.
What's happening? What's good?
What up, bro?
Yeah, we're fired
Yeah,
up
happy
today.
to be here, man.
This angle's fucked too. You really fucked us with this angle today, bro.
Hold up,
We're usually facing the guest and shit. I feel like I'm all the way
We're a
over
mess.
here.
Come on, y'all making too much money, man, for this, right?
No, because all right,
we're
I'll tell
saying.
you. I'll tell you a quick story.
Okay.
So originally, our guests today they were supposed to come at 3.
Okay.
And we were in a different room with like a bomb ass setup.
Oh, shit.
And then
They shoved us in this.
yeah, they shoved us in this
Closet.
broom closet.
Who was the guest?
Well,
You, man.
No. Really? I was supposed to be at 3?
Wait, what? They didn't tell you that?
I came in from Miami. I was on a flight, and I knew that y'all was only in New York for a few days, and so I flew back for seeing my guy Lil Duval because he's on rehab. He was rehabbing in Miami, so I was like, yo, I gotta pull up.
I appreciate you.
man.
Well, damn, who's got this for 3, Dylan?
He's
No,
lame.
damn, I apologize for being this late. I didn't know.
No.
I told him 4:30.
Damn, Dylan.
All right. Well, hey, if you're watching this show and you have experience producing podcasts, applications, we're accepting them now. Yo, nah, fuck the intro today.
I don't like your intros lately, Dill.
Can't say that around George.
Yeah, as a Middle Eastern, it's not bomb.
I do have an intro
Talk to me.
that I made. He's a king of culture. He's a disruptor, a speaker of words, and 1/3 of the Breakfast Club.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Charlemagne the God.
what's happening, man? Thank you for having me. What's the word? Happy to be on Impulsive.
Thank you, bro.
You wear socks?
You got
in the
socks on?
bathroom?
Man, you know what's crazy? I realized today I don't have no fucking white socks. Like, all I got is black socks. And, like, last time I wore blue and put on black socks, like, it was on Instagram and they killed me on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, shit, I got to start wearing white, I guess, when I put on all blue. So I put on the white socks.
Okay, clutch.
Yes.
The internet will check your fashion first.
Oh, yeah.
And they do.
But see, I don't give a fuck. I repeat outfits all the time. Like, I wore this outfit before. So you never really know how to wear it right until the second time because they'll tell you how to wear it on social
You
media.
just fix it, basically.
Yeah. So, like, if I don't have, like, the stylist with me, like, because I only do stylist and I'm doing, like, TV and
Yeah,
shit like that.
for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
So what happened? You wore black socks one time and they
killed me.
No, but did they spaz on you?
Spaz.
Can you say that?
I can say it.
But I'm saying though.
You can say it in the proper
I can
context.
say it. Whoa.
Words matter. Words matter. We got to stop acting like words don't matter. Like, you open up Webster's dictionary, there can be a word with several different definitions. As long as you're using the word in the proper context, it shouldn't be a problem.
So you
And
know,
why? Huh?
you know why I'm asking you that, right? Because of the Beyonce and Lizzo shit, right?
Yeah. And why are we letting people from the UK tell us about words? Do
Thank you.
do we know what they call cigarettes over there?
Oh.
You know, anybody from the LGBT community in America want to go over there and tell them to change the words for their cigarettes?
Wow.
We should. We should return fire. We should.
All right, you guys could have spaz,
That's
but
right.
we want. I can't say it. We want it back.
Mike, please
We
don't.
want it back, yo.
I'm gonna get you.
Nah. I'm chilling.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude. I think people. I don't know. I could see how you do want to be cognizant of a word that could offend some people, regardless of where you're from. You know, especially like Beyonce and Lizzo. They got the cleanest reputations.
Yeah, I agree, but once again, words matter, and we got to start having smarter conversations because it's literally like social media or run with something to be like, this is wrong, this shouldn't be said. And you're like, wait a minute, life don't work like that. So there's some gray area here. Can we have the nuanced conversation? And the nuanced conversation is that words matter, and it depends on what context you use the word. And they should. You know what I mean?
You taught me really a long time ago, a very important lesson. Be careful when you speak in absolutes. Absolutes are very dangerous. And now we're having this conversation around regional sensitivities. I can say something in English, and somewhere in Zimbabwe, that might mean like, yo, murdering somebody. Like, I don't fucking know what that shit means in another dialect language.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's wild out there.
Now we did have I had W. Kamal Bell on my talk show last week, and he did say that it just depends on if you want to make money, right? If you're in the UK and you're trying to sell your music in the UK, you gotta read the room. So yes, I wouldn't go over to the UK and probably use that word, just like they can't come over here and ask for cigarettes. You know what I mean? Without somebody looking at them crazy. So I understand that, but it's like, yo, man, that. Stuff like that should be a non-starter. Like, that shouldn't even be a conversation. Why are we reacting to these people on social media like that? Why do we give social media that much power?
Why do a lot of power?
You said it's money. It's money. It's how a lot of people make their money. It's the form of communication that allows your thing to be seen.
Yeah, but none of us can create like we can't create like that if we get on platforms and because intention matters to me, right? So if you sit down and you have good intentions, right? And if my intention is good and I say something, if I say something that, a word that offends you or whatever, you don't got to cut my head off for it. It's just a conversation. I didn't sit down and intend to push you like that. But how can you create if you sit down and you got to really think about every single word you use?
We are in an interesting time.
How?
Yeah.
What's the point of doing a podcast every week? What's the point of doing radio if you got to think about every single word?
Do you know what that does to your creative expression in that lane? That's that natural lane of like what you want to say, when everything that you want to say or talk about, you have to first push through a little
Oh my
filter
God.
or 10 little filters that sift out your creativity and end up in a, we've talked about this before, you know, like maybe we're saying it's a little harder than it is, but dude, there's just a lot of things to consider when you talk these days, bro. It's hard, man.
Think about 4 years from now. Think about the words we're using now. 4 years
Oh,
from
we're
now, that may
canceled.
offend somebody.
Oh, it's over.
I was going to ask you about this because you are a radio and talk show don, and you've been doing it
Thank
for
you.
so long. Are you worried about what's in your catalog? Like, I'm a little concerned that people are going to look back on this show, 10 years from now, and I will have said something that isn't okay. Then,
I get canceled 3 times a year.
oh no way.
What are you talking about?
all right.
I get outraged from the internet 3 times a year. And it used to bother me until I realized, like, yo, I can't even trip off that because that's not even me anymore. And culture was different, right? Like, I always use the analogy of, let's just say 20 years ago, there was a highway and the speed limit on the highway was 80 miles per hour. Right? So everybody was doing 80. Sometimes you might do 85, sometimes you might do 90 because you can get away with it, right? But over time, they realized, hey man, people are going too fast on this road, so it's been too many accidents, too many fatalities, people getting hurt. So they reduced the speed limit to 55. 20 years later, you're doing 55 because you don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to, hurt yourself or, end up causing somebody else to get hurt. So you start doing the speed limit. But what if you started getting speeding tickets from when the speed limit was 80 miles per hour when that was motherfucking legal?
Yeah.
You'd be looking like, what the fuck is going on? That's where we're at and right now. I think it's changing, though. I think it was worse like 4 or 5 years ago.
For sure.
But I think it's changing now. I think
the pendulum is swinging back.
yeah.
100%.
Not even swinging back, it's just becoming a balance. Like, I think people realize, like, that's not sustainable because this is a circular firing squad.
Yeah.
Because everybody got some shit.
I know everyone.
Every fucking body got some shit. I don't care who it is. Not you.
He's a Christian.
Nah.
Jesus got him covered.
Oh, I saw you posting Bishop Jakes. I like his stuff.
You do?
Yeah.
Word.
Him and Stephen Furtick are pretty dope.
Me and Stephen Furtick from the same hometown.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Moncks Corner, South
Team
Carolina.
Christians, bro.
Yeah, Stephen Furtick, him and my wife went to high school together. I was already kicked out of high school by the time, they came around. But
Cancels you in high school already?
they canceled me in high school. I got expelled from 2 high schools, bro.
Oh,
Damn, I only got kicked out of 1.
Really?
Yeah. The principal was like, hey, I think you should leave. I was like, damn. I was like, okay. My mom was like, I agree. We should get. And you know what my mom said the first day of school? She goes, don't be yourself. And I was like, I'll never forget that. I was like, don't be
Don't be
myself.
yourself.
She's like, just you're loud and obnoxious.
What a shit advice.
No,
from a mom.
dude, this is why I get so mad about the whole cancel thing and like just don't bull. You know what my dad told me? He goes, listen, they'll like you if you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He goes, just shut the fuck up. He's like, obviously you talk too much. See, I get this.
I want everybody to talk. I want everybody to talk. I want everybody to express their opinions, their ideas. I don't care, what differences we may have. Like, that's the only way that we can all be this community we claim to be. Like, I don't want to be in a echo chamber full of people. I want you to believe what you believe, you to believe what you believe, you to believe what you believe, and let's just all have dialogue about it.
How do we reach common ground on things that are slightly polarizing? Because that's I think the issue we're facing right now, right? There's a lot of shit going on,
Yeah.
and everyone has an opinion, and they feel warranted in their opinion, especially because of social media, right?
Yeah.
It can become an echo chamber. So how do you have an opinion while also maintaining an open mind for some sort of common ground for what you're talking about?
I think the common ground is just respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to disrespect you just because you think differently than me or you have a different opinion. Like, I think that's the problem, right? The problem is we either label people good and bad or right and wrong. You know what I mean? Good, evil. Like, no. If you have a difference of opinion, that's all it is. And I respect you as a human to have that. And guess what? If I do something that, speaking to elementary school, if I do something that they teach us in elementary school, which is the golden rule, just simply do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Why is that so hard?
It
now?
shouldn't be.
It's wild,
Yeah.
bro.
It shouldn't
It's
be.
such a simple fucking concept
it.
to just be good to other people.
That's it.
I've been talking about this crazy lately. Why has that become so hard?
Because they feel like if you're not with them, you're against them.
Well, a lot of people answer back when I post about it, and they say, "Well, people aren't being good to me, and so why the fuck should I be good to other?" I get that from a lot of, especially the younger people, right? Why should I be good to other people and not being good to me? Because you got to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Until you start coming out of your shell, being good to people who aren't being good to you, the hate cycle's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta at some point dig deep in that ego and that pride of yours, and against all fucking odds, stick that olive branch out. Take that shot to the chin and fucking wear it, and break that cycle. And a lot of us got to start breaking that cycle of hate and reaching out and shaking hands with people we don't agree with.
That's fucking absolutely correct. And, you know, I think it's because we all have a lot of pain that we haven't dealt with. And we all got a lot of trauma that we haven't dealt with and hurt that we haven't dealt with. So, like, hurt people. So when we say do unto others as you would have them do unto you, people are being shitty to other people because they feel shitty on the inside. You know what I mean?
No one's told them anything good. No one
That's
said,
right.
yo, you should be
That's
proud of
right.
yourself. You're a
That's
smart
right.
person. You're a funny person. Like, we got to start hyping each other up. We got to start building each other's buildings up instead of tearing them down,
Yes.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I will say I do believe in shame, meaning that, you know, sometimes shame works. You know, remember back in the day when you had a chubby friend? You know what I mean?
You shame
You shame him into getting shape. You love him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You know where this fatness is gonna lead. You know? So I do believe in, like, you know, just calling it how it is. And you can do it in a loving way.
It has to be done.
It has to be done in a loving way.
And it works, too. I mean, bro, like, a lot of people had to get called fatty a couple hundred times before they started changing.
Hey.
Still hasn't worked for me. You call me fat pretty much every day.
Oh my God,
Well, maybe every other day.
No, that's not true. What are you doing?
I'm not nothing. It's working.
Oh, he
you know,
hurt
it
your
keeps me,
feelings?
Well, you're not even-
it keeps me in the gym. I'm just saying, I'm agreeing with
Hey,
it.
this is
Oh.
sorry trying to cancel you because you were trying to cancel him.
Oh.
This is a maneuver, bro. I am Logan's best friend, and I could, with a full confidence, face it. Not because I get my paychecks from him. He's never called Mike fat.
That's not true either.
all.
That's not true either.
Today,
You liar.
But yours is different though. You gotta stay in shape for like the WWE and boxing and all that shit.
Dude, I'm working out just the other day, and I was like, holy shit, I guess I'm technically a professional athlete now. Like,
Yeah.
I have to now.
Yeah.
It's weird. He does it, I think, for mental health, huh?
Yeah, I work out for mental health.
I don't call you
Already-
fat.
I know.
I call
I'm
you
just kidding.
fat, stupid.
Dude, I'm 6'3". I can afford to be fat.
That's
Plus,
that's part of my mental health routine.
oh, yeah.
Oh, exercise, 100%.
What do you do? What's your workout like?
A lot of hit training. You know, my dude, my cousin Tony. You know what I mean? We call him Perm because his nickname is Perm because he gets you straight.
Yeah.
Right. So he gets
Yeah.
you straight. He gets you straight in the gym. But we just do a lot of hit training, a lot of high intensity.
That's good
training.
stuff.
I don't love the high intensity cardio stuff.
Oh, I hate it.
It's hard.
Oh man, we did it
It's
last
hard.
Friday. Oh my God, he had us doing like these 15-second intervals on the treadmill, and
Yeah.
it was like at 15. It was wow. But I mean, it's worth it in the end. You know what I mean? And after you do it, you feel great.
When you walk out, you feel
Oh
great.
man, you feel incredible.
Yo, okay. I got to be honest with you. Earlier, we were talking about disagreements.
Okay.
I'm the hip hop head of the show. I'm
Oh.
37 years old. I was around for Funk Flex the Tunnel.
Okay.
When Jay said, "Don't be the next contestant on the Summer Jam screen," I was
Okay.
there in Nassau. Like, I'm that guy, right? I'm that fucking guy.
Well, that's Michael Jackson came out at that show.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. The biggest disagreement we see, politics is a new thing. People yelling at each other about Trump and Obama and all that shit's new. Back in that day, you were either Team Ether or Team Takeover. You were
Yeah.
Team Jay or Team Nas.
Yeah.
I prepped for this interview today more than every other one of the 400 shows we have done. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones, crazy shows. This is my lane. I want to pick your fucking brain about hip hop.
Let's do it.
Because that's your space, right?
That's my culture.
Right.
Absolutely.
What was the golden era of hip hop? I just brought up the early 2000s. 50 Cent drops Get Rich, potentially perfect album. Jay drops Blueprint. Nas is going crazy. Kanye started to show his face.
Yeah.
Is that the golden era of hip hop?
Well, I'm older, so I'm 44. I was born in 1978. So,
1900.
so for me, the golden era of hip hop would probably be like 90, 94.
Early Nas, just getting into Biggie and shit.
That's when like Wu-Tang first
Yup,
came out, and
Protection Act.
Nas just
Yup.
came out, and Biggie, and like Boot Camp Click, and Outkast, and Goody Mob. You know what I mean? Like that 1900s era was like, that 1994 era was very, 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 very special. Very special.
Because I saw your 2018 top 5.
Who was it? Oh no, my top 5 hasn't changed. Well, so what was it?
Ghostface.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Nas.
Yes.
Scarface.
Yes.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike. An honorable mention would be T.I. and
And
Jeezy.
Jeezy.
Yep.
And you still stand by that?
I still stand on that.
And so you can ignore. This was the hard one for me as well. You could ignore Pac completely.
Pause. But yes, because that's my personal opinion.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
that's-
So that's not an objective list. If I did an objective list, Pac would be on there.
Got it.
But my personal top 5, top 7, yes, that's my personal top.
based on lyrics or based on how you feel. Like what is that list built off of? Because
A little bit of everything: lyrics, storytelling, impact of the music. You know, music provides soundtracks to your life, right? Like when we think about these songs, man, like all of these songs that we love, we have memories.
No, gracias.
Attached to them. Like, there's probably a slow song that you like because that's the first time you busted a nut.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean? Or like you could think about the prom or something. You was dancing with a young lady. Like all of us got different moments that we got music attached to. So those people right there I named, I got memories attached to all of that music.
I just think like, and I want to ask you about this too. It's like you look back at Pac, and I pulled up this lyric. This is probably what, like mid 90s, 25, 30 years before Roe v. Wade is the center of all conversation. We're
Word.
talking about a song called "Keep Your Head Up." Time to heal our women, be real to our women. If we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create
That's
one.
right. Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah. Yeah, Pac was that guy.
that guy. dude.
I didn't appreciate Pac when he was alive because he was dissing everybody that I liked.
yeah.
But he was dissing Biggie, he was dissing Mobb Deep,
Puff.
he was dissing Nas, he was
Yeah.
dissing Jay. So I liked all of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was like, yo, who is this guy? Like, if it was wrestling, like Pac was the ultimate heel. Like there was no greater heel than Tupac. Like he didn't give a flying fuck, and he like really backed up everything that he used to rap about. Like Pac shot 2 cops back in the day.
Yeah,
People forget
facts.
that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He shot 2 off-duty cops. He saw these off-duty cops harassing somebody, and he intervened. Ended up shooting both of them. You know what I mean? So it's just like Pac really was.
How do you get off of
That
that?
he was. I forgot how he got off. I don't remember how.
Dropped a really hot track. Everybody.
No, but as far as like impact is concerned, like he may have been making some of the most impactful hip hop statements ever, right?
Yeah, I didn't appreciate it back then. I was young, you know what I mean? So it's like even though I was attracted to the rebelliousness of what he was doing, I didn't pick up on, you know, the things he was saying that had socially redeeming value in it until later. You know, it was his documentary. He's got this documentary called what's it called, Revolutions or Revelations. I did, but he narrates it.
Oh, sick.
It's him. Like they use his words to narrate the whole documentary. You should watch it if you're a Pac fan. Like that's what made me be like, oh man, Pac was different. Like we really lost something with Pac.
Also, way ahead of his time, man. I think he died at age 25,
Yeah, 24, 25.
which is
yeah.
absurd, man. The body of work and the magnitude, the impact he was able
That's
to
right.
have at such a young age. Like, you know, we have some of these artists now of our generation, like Juice comes to mind. You know,
Yeah.
like way ahead of his time. Just tragic.
You got to tell me about Juice. Like I've interviewed Juice, but I didn't listen to all Juice's music like that. But when I hear people talk about Juice, they talk about him with this reverence. Like he really was saying things that were impacting people. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, he made so much music, you know, and evidently, you know, I've never worked with him, but he's a musical genius. He would come in there and every single day, for almost every hour he was awake, he'd be conceptualizing, creating, and coming up with
Fire.
lyrics that resonate with a ton of people, and a lot of it I think came from sadness too. You know, we're in a time where people want to look towards thy neighbor because they're feeling the same thing. Maybe like a despair of sorts, sometimes like a hopelessness, a loneliness,
Yeah.
or like whatever it is. He was really able to connect. XXX comes to mind as well.
XXX. I never met X. He mentioned me in a song before, but I never met him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he said I'm an asshole like Charlamagne. That's what he said.
Are you cool? Is that a correct statement, an accurate statement? Would you say?
I mean, it depends, right? Like I'm sure I've been an asshole. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when you talk about like listening to old stuff, sometimes I listen to old stuff that I've done, and I'll be like, how could anybody ever like me? You know what I mean? Like I really now I see why I call me an asshole.
Speaking of being an asshole, bro, like I saw you just completely shit on Post Malone. What's up with that, dude? Why do you call them mayonnaise records, bro? Like, what's up with all this? What's the whole back?
You know what it was? Post had made these statements one time that I didn't appreciate because it was like, yo, he came up in rap music, you know what I mean? So he had the song White Iverson, and, you know, we had him on Breakfast Club back in the day. So he came up in hip-hop, but then he made a statement. I'm paraphrasing now, but the statement was like, if you want to cry or listen to, you know, music that has a deeper meaning, you know, don't listen to rap or something like that. And I'm like,
But it kind of goes. But
like, not only did you come up in hip hop, but that's just not true. Like, you heard what you just quoted from Pac. Like,
but that's what I'm gonna ask you about too. Is like it goes back. We know, we remember Pac. We remember some of the artists around that time that were bringing out this stuff about societal change, about, you know, the affliction of black communities and the stuff that socioeconomic classes are going through. But when you look at hip hop now, even back to just like early 2000s, 2010s, the music started to change a lot. Post is so young that like I bet you the majority of what he bases around hip hop is pop a Molly, drink some lean, fuck a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And so like in a way, do you feel like we have, you know, hip hop has become watered down to a point where it's just like, yo, it's party music. Like
no, I think hip hop is nuanced, and there's a lot of different types of hip hop. Like, if I can go from Future to Kendrick Lamar just like that. You know what I mean? I can go from, you know, Rhapsody to the Migos just like that. Like, you know, like there's guys that rap about, you know, drugs and using drugs and selling drugs, and then there's people that have shit that got socially redeeming value in their music. Like, there's so much dope ass content. There's too much content out here. You know what I mean? So if all you're hearing is that, then that's all you're listening to.
But don't you think it's being elevated more than the conscious rap? Like, don't you think that like in a lot of ways around the same time when the dealer, remember how the dealer used to get elevated? Jay was the guy, right?
Then they started celebrating the Fiend,
The user, right?
Yeah.
And so don't you think that like drug use mentality, that party mentality, that substance mentality is like elevated more than Kendrick, more than
I
J.
don't
Cole
think
and
so.
shit like that?
Because if you look at the last like 12 years, right, and you look at the top 5 biggest rappers in the game, there's probably only one that's really the leader of that, and that was Future in a lot of ways. But Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake, they not on that, and they've been the big 3-headed monster, you know, for the past 10 plus years. So I think that's an unfair assessment of hip hop. I think when you're in the clubs or you might be listening to the radio, you might be hearing more of that. But hip hop is very, 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 very diverse. Very diverse.
So, from my perspective, it seems to me that you're saying like if you came up from this culture, you should educate yourself and teach people about the culture.
Yeah, because there's people out there. You might have more eyeballs on you than the average person that, you know, knows the average hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're Post Malone. So if you're in a mainstream publication and you're having that conversation, why would you shit on the culture that you came up in? Like that didn't make no sense to me. None whatsoever.
I'm looking at your top 5, and it brings up this question. Do you still appreciate that era of hip hop, 90s, 2000s hip hop, personally for you, more than today's hip hop?
Ooh, do I appreciate it more? That's a great question. I don't know if I appreciate it more. I mean, that's just my era. That's what I came up in. Like I said, all my memories are attached to that. But I do appreciate, you know, this generation of hip hop just because, man, they've turned it into like a real business. Like, you know, they're real entrepreneurs in this culture, you know. And then you got guys that are carrying the torch. Like, I love La Russell. La Russell, this dude out of Vallejo, you know, California. He's phenomenal. Like, you know, whatever the Killer Mikes and Kendricks and, you know, Scarfaces were doing, he's in that lane. And you got people like Simba, you know, who's from the Cali area. Like, he's phenomenal. People like Rhapsody, she's from North Carolina. Like, all of these people are carrying on tradition to me. So I do appreciate them. I just have more nostalgia with the era I came up in just because I have all those memories attached to the music. You just mentioned Juice WRLD. You probably got a night where you was out, you was getting lit, and y'all was playing Juice WRLD. You remember that night, and Juice WRLD was the soundtrack to that night. That's how I feel about somebody like Jeezy. When I was in my 20s, running through Columbia, South Carolina, Jeezy was that guy. So I got
Motivation 101.
Yeah,
shit. I remember that shit.
Yeah, so I got memories attached to it. Plus, I was in radio, so I watched a lot of those dudes come up. Like, I remember watching Jeezy at a club called The Main Event in Columbia, South Carolina. My man Fats had a birthday party. He had Jeezy and Big Country Kane performing, right? There might have been 50 people in the club that night, but the club holds like 2,000. man, by the time Jeezy came back with Trap or Die mixtape, that club had like 3,000 inside and another 500 trying to get in. So I remember those things. I remember my homeboy DJ Frosty, Jeezy leaving his Versace glasses at the DJ booth, and Frosty still has those glasses to this day. You know what I mean? Like, I remember things like that. So it's like the memories attached to it. So I do appreciate this era. I just have a lot of memories that I appreciate attached to, my era.
Coming up in the world of radio, did you find it hard to not burn bridges, or is that something you didn't care about? Because you have a lot of hot takes, and you're opinionated, which is why you're great.
Yeah.
But also, in a world where networking and relationships are important, did that ever concern you?
I didn't know any better. So I was literally fresh off a dirt road in Moncks Corner, South Carolina, and coming on the radio in Charleston. Charleston is like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Moncks Corner. So I didn't know any better. I was drunk, high on the air. I was just talking the way we talk. Amongst each other. And it's just like, that's just something that stuck with me. I always say the best thing that happened to me was I didn't know how to do radio. So I didn't go to college. I didn't do college radio. So I was fresh off the street on the microphone, and nobody taught me how to do this. So those hot takes, that's just regular conversation. I'm sure that when y'all are amongst each other, the conversations that y'all have, y'all probably don't bring to the podcast, right? Or maybe y'all do.
We tried to. We bring as much as we can.
Some don't. You're right.
Some don't.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
back then, I didn't know. Back then, I didn't know no better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, even when I got to New York, it was the same thing. It's just like, I didn't know any other way to be. And plus, I don't have those relationships. Like, I didn't grow up in New York, or grow up in California, or grow up in Atlanta, where I know this executive at this label, or I know this artist. I don't know none of these people. So I don't have any relationships to protect.
So did you ever change the way you spoke about people?
I started changing the way I spoke about people when I started going to therapy, and honestly, probably having more empathy for people. You know what I mean? And when I started to become somebody, and you be looking online and you be like, that didn't happen. like that shit they saying about me isn't true. Like, I'm not this, I'm not that. So it's just like, oh, a lot of this is bullshit. I was the guy that would believe a lot of the world star conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Like, so you see all these conspiracy theorists on YouTube, and they say all this shit now, and there's people that actually believe this about people. I was that person. I thought that there was an Illuminati, and I thought they was sacrificing fucking gerbils and hamsters.
Well, hold on a sec. That part actually is.
Some be acting like they don't do it.
Well, I don't know about the gerbils.
No,
but
the rodents are happening.
The Illuminati shit is pretty real.
I don't
Really?
think
It's not like a secret society, but like, don't ever believe for a second that like there's not a group of uber wealthy people that are making a lot of things
Oh
happen.
no, I believe
You know what I'm
that
saying?
wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But guess what? We would never know who they are. We wouldn't know their name. we wouldn't be talking about them. Is
No,
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
true.
You know what I mean? I do believe that. I absolutely believe there's it's probably not a not so secret society. We just know that there's somebody out there pulling the strings in a
They're
much
just
bigger
rich
way.
gangsters.
Yes. Yes.
you think we made it to the moon.
Hell no.
Oh,
Just hold on. He's a god, for Pete's sake.
I don't know, man. I've been thinking about that because when you go back and you watch the moon landing now, that shit looks so fucking fake.
Something looks a little fishy about
They
it,
they,
right?
they need a new one.
Hey, I like
Like, they
that
need
your
to make
mind is
a
going
new
there. 'Cause
one.
you shut me down on this shit, bro. Hey,
The shit looks.
we did not. They were trying to bankrupt Russia. Everybody knows this shit, bro. There's no way we landed on the moon. And if so, I'm gonna get smoked for this. But listen, it's my opinion. Back off. Okay? Hey, I gotta ask you this because I'm dying to know. Have you ever been pressed for kind of being a little too mouthy with the
Hell
gangster?
yeah.
What was the scariest moment? You're like, oh shit, like I went a little too far with this dude.
I've never had a scary moment. Well, you know what? In the studio, it wasn't scary, but it was. Oh yeah, this could go left. And you know who it was? It was with Nelly. Fucking
wait,
Nelly,
that's
bro.
hilarious.
Hey, Logan had one of those
Yeah, we have
moments
a
too.
moment.
You see that reaction, but what y'all don't know is Nelly is really a street dude from
Yeah.
St. Louis, and he's in shape like a motherfucker. And he got hands, you know what I mean?
Fucking hits.
Exactly. So you hear those songs and you like, Nelly. But no, Nelly. And he didn't have no entourage. He was in there by himself. He had a wife beater on, and I was telling him, I was like, this was years ago though, like 9-10 years ago. And I'm like, bro, yo, you kind of cold musically, right? Like, ain't really shit popping with the music right now. And Nelly looked at me, and Nelly goes, yo, we keep retainers for guys like you, cuz. And I was like, oh. Oh. He didn't yell. He didn't scream. He didn't curse. He was just like, yo, I keep retaining this for guys like you, cuz like, oh,
Okay.
okay.
You know when
Right?
someone's about it.
Did he have a toothpick in his mouth?
Nah.
Wait, now that brings me back to the day with on the bus, and now I wouldn't be fucking with him playing all his music when he told me to stop playing his music.
No, you.
Oh, Nelly?
So we we went to the Super Bowl with Nelly.
Okay.
And like he was randomly on the same bus as us. We went with Raising the guys from Raising Kings, and he was on it. And you know we're having a good time and shit. And I start playing EI, I start playing like all these
Dog, he
songs.
starts playing all Nelly music.
And everybody,
Nelly.
and by the way, everybody else on the bus is loving it. Like they're going nuts and like pointing at him and shit. But it's like a bunch of like middle-aged white people. Like, yeah, I know this track,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at me like, yo, like cut it. And I'm like, come on, man, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Damn.
You don't want those problems.
Bro, damn, you gotta retain.
Yeah, you don't want those
Hey,
problems.
but dude, he had some
Slappers.
slaps. Also, bro, you saw him in his shoulders, and you were still like, just like, nah, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say what I'm saying. What did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, because I thought it is a valid opinion, right? But it's still just my opinion. Like, yo, you got cold.
how did you turn away? How did you like?
I don't even remember. It's online. I got to go back and watch it.
You know which one I saw was the Birdman one.
That's
That didn't scare me. That didn't scare me. That was a great moment. You know what I mean? But that one didn't scare me.
Do people come up in the studio hot like that?
Oh yeah, that's happened before. I mean, I've been jumped in front of the radio station. That's on YouTube.
Jump.
Oh yeah. Well, they tried to jump me. I ran. Like, you know, it was 5 guys.
that
You know what I
hit
mean?
training coming in handy.
Word is, no, this was years ago.
Firm's like, get out of here. Run straight that way.
Yeah. This was like 12 years ago, and like, you know, like the guy came up behind me, hit me in the back of the head. Other dude had the camera. I mean, they were really just trying to embarrass me for online, but I knew that. So I'm like, all right, this dude hit me in the back of the head. I see 2 other dudes coming. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They might hold me down and pee on me or some shit. But it was all just to embarrass me for social media. So I was like, I got the fuck out of there. But nah, that's happened. I've gotten attacked twice outside of the radio station. One time they tried to jump me. Another time it was one dude across the street at the pharmacy. That didn't end well. But yeah, it happens. But you got to know that
Daddy
though.
was in front of a pharmacy.
No, we was in the pharmacy. I was walking out. Yeah, I was walking out the pharmacy. But you know, listen, man, I've never been delusional. So it's like, yo, I understand the consequences of my word. Like we all should. Like, you know, I'm not sitting around here like, oh, I can say anything, do anything, and there's not going to be any repercussions.
When do you start to cross into that lane of, because I think now we're starting to move into a place where repercussions are not okay. We just saw it with Will Smith, right, and Chris Rock. And obviously he's under a little bit more protective custody because he's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
But like, at what point could you just start claiming like, yo, I'm in the entertainment business?
No, I don't think that we're at a point where repercussions are not okay. I mean, like what Will did is what he did. That's a choice he made. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say whether it's right or wrong. I don't know whether it was right or wrong. You know, you asked me, I thought it was fucked up because I thought it was fucked up just because, damn, it scared me a lot, right? Because it's like, yo, that's Will Smith. That's a person that we've seen out here doing the work. Like, I call him the Willy Llama. Like, you've seen him on his spiritual journey. We know he
Sandia?
goes to therapy. He sits down with
Yeah.
Hablando de eso, de comer, quiero comer como eso, antes de cualquier otra cosa, por favor.
Huh.
These sacred purpose coaches, he does the ayahuasca like he's trying to be on a higher level of consciousness, but on the biggest night of his life, career-wise, the night he's about to have the cherry on top, get the Oscar, he snaps. That's fucking scary. What chance do the rest of us have? Like, think about that. Like, that's fucking scary. So for me, I looked at it like, damn, that's what was really fucked up about it. I mean, of course, you hate to see that happen to Chris. Chris is a great dude. Chris has talked about, the bullying he's experienced when he was younger. But man, to watch that man on the biggest night of his
really
life.
does hate Chris.
Whoa. Whoa.
Question.
Whoa.
How much do you think, because he's doing ayahuasca, he's practicing all this Buddhist meditation, how much is Jada pulling the strings, pissing him off, and making him smack the shit out of people?
I don't think she had nothing to do with that. I really don't. I mean, other than that's my wife, and I'm tired of people playing with me.
You don't think
about my wife.
she's in his ear? Because bro, she's got a reputation right now as the reason why he's going downhill. Like
I don't believe that.
no,
I think that's too. I think that's putting too much on
that's
her.
what a lot of people think.
Yeah, he's
A lot of people think that.
Yeah, but if you read Will's book or even listened to his interviews, like Will has a lot of pain that he hasn't dealt with, trauma that he hasn't dealt with. He used to watch his, mom get beat up by his dad. He always felt like a coward because he didn't intervene. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something that stays with you the rest of your life, and you never want to make that mistake ever again, even for the smallest thing. So we saw him do that to Chris, right? For all we know, he might have been did that to somebody if presented with the opportunity. Because it's not like any of these people have been saying this shit in front of Will's face.
Well, he slapped a guy on the
A
red
reporter.
carpet.
That guy tried to kiss him.
Tried to kiss him.
Yeah, he tried to tongue kiss him.
He tried to. You can't do that. If he didn't smack him, that would have been a bigger conversation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That was assault, actually. The guy,
Yeah,
that's
of course.
sexual
But
assault.
that dude, he deserved to be slapped. That guy deserved to be slapped.
Well, that dude that got
Yeah.
slapped, he does that stuff
Yeah.
for a living. He goes up and tries
He
to fuck
sexually
with people.
assaults people for a living?
Facts. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Done. He's done.
Is he a producer in Hollywood?
No, he's a prank.
Two things on that.
That was funny.
Seems like a producer. Two things. One, even if his wife was in his ear, bothering him, causing a lot of stress, every man should be responsible for his own decisions.
That's right.
If his woman is getting him to that point, he needs to have therapy with her.
But that's
or
an
figure it out with
absolute
her.
statement like we talked about earlier. You
Not
know
an
what I'm saying?
absolute. Everybody has a reason.
No, I get it.
I'm not a reason. Has to be responsible for their own decisions. That's right.
And in hindsight, that's a great statement. But a lot of people aren't responsible for their own actions.
Well,
They get
also-
pissed off and they smack or shoot or do whatever the fuck. And so, as a statement, you're 100% right. But then you go back and you look at the situation. It's not always the case.
And then my second thing I was going to say, out of both Chris or Will, who I DM'd, which they wouldn't read, but I DM'd just to shoot that shot. It was Will. The night of, I told him, I was like, hey man, I know you're a good person from afar. Good people could do bad things, and this world's forgetting that shit. They're thinking that if you're good, you have to be good at all times, at all circumstances. Listen, no one's perfect.
Not reality.
That guy lost his mind for 1 second, and now everybody erased his legacy for it.
No,
And
no.
a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
Come on.
And a lot
Especially
of comedians, were
comedians,
getting
yeah,
mad at
yeah.
me for saying that. Like, no, as a comedian, you have every right. I'm like, yeah, I get it, bro. But as a comedian, bro, we all know shit comes from dark places. That motherfucker has a lot of dark places. So, dude, imagine that was his most important night. The only one who got hurt the most was Will, bro. Chris's ticket sales went skyrocketed. The one who really suffered from the situation was Will.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right.
so we have to get to a point where we have to understand people's dark places. We don't have to tolerate them, but we have to understand it.
Empathy.
And he still got to deal with the consequences of those actions.
Of course.
Whether it's, public outrage, whether he loses movies or whatever, that's him. He made that choice. But are we going to reduce him to his worst mistake? No. None of us should be reduced to our worst mistake.
I'm just not. I agree with that 100%. But I'm not buying the whole like he lost his mind for 1 second, like, or the Jada shit. Like, you think he was just cool with all the August shit, like with the open relationship, and she's fucking this dude? You think he's just taking all of it and he's happy, he's chilling, he doesn't have nothing like?
Yeah. Because
Yo,
I mean,
what?
you know why?
I'm not the only person in here
that
that's
was
like
the best.
Yeah, I tell you, because they, you know, if you watch them and you've heard their conversations, they came to that conclusion. That they weren't together at the time. They were separated. He was doing what he was doing. She was doing what he was doing.
And that's not some prideful shit where he's trying to cover up about the fact that his wife's fucking this
Hey,
younger dude.
man, when you make that decision, man, you know, there's no limits on the dick size. You don't tell your wife, hey, man, you can only go fuck somebody with a smaller dick than mine. You know what I mean? So if she goes out
Michael
there.
Blackson have a contract, and I'm pretty sure in the contract. No, we had Michael Blackson.
Oh,
We had
Michael
like
Blackson.
He has a contract, and that would definitely go in my contract. We had an open relationship of like it stops at 6.
Yeah, well, you should, right? Like if you and your woman sit together and y'all come up with these terms, you know, and you say, hey, we're gonna fuck other people or whatever. Yeah, you can't have somebody with a bigger dick than mine.
No, 100%.
way.
I want pictures.
No way.
I want to know who it is. Also, no eye contact.
Word
I love
up.
that what he
That's
said.
important too. I need to know who, because at the end of the day, I'm still who I am. So it gotta be somebody either of equal or more stature. If not, it has to be like the pool boy with the 10-inch dick that don't nobody know and he's never gonna speak. But you can't do that in this era because the pool boy's gonna make an Instagram live about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the shit is fucked up.
Now, what about her past? See, now I'm gonna get smoked for this too. I do judge a woman on who she dated in the past. If that dude ain't shit, I'm not trying to be on the roster. It ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like I want that dude to be killing it.
Georgie. Very immature.
Bro,
Very immature.
Don't listen to this guy. This
That's
guy
like-
had a problem with his ex playing any type of music.
What do you mean playing any type of music?
She would play like Chris Brown. She goes, oh, you can't listen to that.
What's
I
your
know
ex
you
fuck
smash
Chris Brown or something?
Then it's Drake. Nah. Can't listen to that. Then it's fucking Michael Bublé. You can't listen to that. Then it's Justin Timberlake. You can listen to that.
Well, I gotta know more context. Was she actually sleeping with these people?
If you had a hit song, she was with you.
Damn.
And by the way, we don't know what ex he's talking about. Logan's had a lot of exes. This could have been.
You know who it was? It was. No, I'm just kidding. Just imagine.
I can understand that though if the woman actually messed with these guys. Like, don't play this in front of me.
You could see how that could be enough.
But like the top 50, we couldn't listen to music anymore, bro. We couldn't listen to music. You know Spotify? Don't have it. Can't have it. Your Apple top 100? Can't have it.
Listen, men got fragile egos, man.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Super fragile, which is why I say I think that's a little immature. Like, the older I'm getting,
Yeah.
I'm noticing that all of the problems I had in my life, like that in my relationship, it's all just ego.
100%. Bro, imagine if I couldn't view anybody that my ex worked with. I wouldn't even be able to go on Pornhub.
You
I
couldn't
wouldn't be
view
able
it,
to open the fucking.
but everybody in the world
yeah, I
could view
wouldn't be able to
What,
open
you used to date a
that.
porn star or
He
something?
Number
dated
one in the
Lana
world.
Rhodes.
Wow.
Yeah, for like a year plus.
Like while she was like,
Now she was retired for 3 years.
wow.
Yeah. It was
So
exciting
did she
time.
have that kind of appetite like in retirement, or that was just strictly work?
Girl only cared about one thing. Mike Malek. That was it. Had DMs from Ed.
¿Cómo se llama la bebida que hay un trago que se sirve en esos vasos? Por eso los compré porque me sirven en un restaurante y se me hicieron tan bonitos.
I don't know. No tengo idea. I'm just playing Minecraft.
Mira,
Moscow Mule. ¿Y qué es eso? Creo que hay una canción que se llama así.
sí, de
Oh yeah. De Bad Bunny.
¿eh?
Bad Bunny.
¿Cómo se llama? Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Pues sí, así le dicen todos Bad Bunny.
Every rapper, athlete, person under the sun, and like
dope.
Didn't even give a fuck, dude, about none of them.
I
The
respect
weirdest
that.
thing.
Let me tell you why I respect that, because that shows a high level of emotional intelligence from you. Because a lot of guys would care
You
about
haven't
a
seen
woman's
AdSense.
body count. Huh?
AdSense.
I
He made a lot of money on his YouTube channel.
Oh, you were using her.
Nah.
Wow.
No, no,
like,
no, no.
damn.
No, we're just messing. We're just,
Well, I mean, dude, we made money. We made money, but the real answer is, I used to smoke crack. I did. I smoked crack, so I don't give a shit who you fucked. Like, you can fuck whoever you want, bro. I
have
was
you
smoking
seen who he
I was-
fucked for?
Yeah. No, I was pointing. But I was smoking. You were sucking big dicks. I was smoking a glass dick. I was smoking a glass dick. So who am I to tell you? Be like, yo, you should be ashamed for what you did. Like,
Y'all both are recovering.
Yeah,
from vices.
facts.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
like, yo,
I
we were in pain together. Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying?
Why'd y'all break up?
Just because it got a little toxic, and just I think we were just timing wise, I was 36, she was still in her mid 20s,
Yeah.
just like a different age thing. But she's doing well. She got a kid now with
Yeah.
with a big time NBA player and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's the player?
Nah.
Wow.
Well, that gets bleeped on the episode, but now you know.
Well, why is keeping that a secret?
Well, all right, let's just not say his name that many
I'm
times.
sorry, my
'cause then-
fault.
No, because then we got to keep bleeping it.
Yeah, why is he keeping that a secret? I don't like.
I don't know the motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I hope
just-
she's sticking him up for all the child.
Nah, she
support
don't want it.
No, hell no.
Said
She
don't
makes
want
so
it.
much money, man.
No, that's not true. No, she don't. Not as. She should get some money.
She
I
should-
told her. I said, just get like a nice little sum. Just get like a nice little sum. Give me
you
five.
get a nice
Ms.
little son.
No, some. The kid is great.
She should still be with you because you're not ashamed. You weren't ashamed of her. She shouldn't be want to be with anybody that was ashamed of her. yo.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Real
Right.
bad. Real toxic.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
is that
we don't-
bad?
yeah, yeah. Well, and now also to be completely honest with you, I think there was like maybe a little bit of room for like, yo, let's take a couple years apart, grow up, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But now you got the kid and this and that, and blah blah blah. So
I think Mike should raise the kid, and his
Nah, I
legacy
just-
should
nah,
be
it's
the
just-
kid's legacy. I think he becomes the dad that is currently non-existent.
I got no
Kid's
problem
like-
with that. I got no problem with men who step in other kids. But dude, like honestly, we
That's
just
what they call them step parents.
Yeah, facts. But we just it just wasn't the right thing. You know how you're in a relationship and all of a sudden like
What the fuck? How did I not know that?
Because they step in.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I didn't know that either.
You just blew my mind up.
I just thought of that in the moment. Just came to me just now.
No way.
Because I never heard him use. I never heard it used like that. He was like, just
Step
step in, and I was like, oh, step parents.
Damn.
Yeah.
That might be it.
now you know what it's like to sit in the presence of real
Wow,
podcast
dude, you
hosts.
just fucked me up for the rest of my life. I'll be like, step down. You stepped in. Like,
Was there pressure in the bedroom because she was a porn star?
Dude, I just talked about this on a different show the other day. There wasn't, and here's why. And I keep hating to burst everybody's bubbles on this porn shit. These girls aren't enjoying it. They don't enjoy the sex on. Maybe some of them do.
Yeah.
But women have a very it's work. It's like going to the fucking coal mine, except if the coal mine
Could fuck you.
could fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But women have a psychological and mental connection to lovers, right?
Yeah.
And so like their enjoyment comes out of what you're able to do to stimulate them mentally and passionately and from a psychological standpoint. So like when they go in and they do this work, I mean, bro, that's why there's like, I hate to get graphic, but that's why there's like so much lube used on set. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not getting wet for these dudes. They're not getting excited about these dudes. So I never had to deal with this because she was retired. But when some of these guys who date girls that are still active, when those girls come home from set, these guys aren't worried about it because I don't know how they do it, but like they're not worried about it because they know they're about to have meaningful, passionate sex with somebody who's just getting fucked on set.
would you?
No. I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't.
No shot.
Yeah,
bro.
it's
That's why I respect that. I'm like,
Well, she
wow.
was retired, then that's and
Retired or not, I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do
lot.
it, bro. That's too much. My ego. As much therapy as I do, I know how fragile my ego is. That can't work for me.
No, dude.
And
I get smoked. Like I get DMs like, "Fuck you! You don't like porn stars." I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
here's
that's
the reason
great-
why. Here's the
wait,
reason
that's
why.
not what we're saying.
And
We love all three of us. Probably love porn. stars.
Listen, I wouldn't be on Pornhub all the time.
Yes.
I didn't love porn
so
stars.
I don't watch porn.
Really?
I gave up porn a couple years ago because, bro, it is an addiction and people follow that shit, and it's gonna
Are
be
you really?
hard.
You really like giving your life to God?
Oh, I've been. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Day one. I was born Catholic, but then I like studied it and learned that it wasn't really for me, and Jesus is, so I just went down the Christian route.
True.
But So like yeah, so for a monogamous purpose, like especially in this type of lifestyle, I want to make sure that my girl's me and her, right? So I gave up porn and helped me out a lot. But I had this girl she was like roasting me on a podcast one day, and he's like, she goes, no, you just hate the fact that women are standing up and they're I'm like, no, because I love you. I care about you to know that there's gonna be a day where that phases out.
That's right.
Your body's done, and now the guys used you up like toothpaste and throw you away. So I have the balls to tell you I love you. Use the asset in your brain that could be fruitful for the rest of your life. And for men, get off the fucking porn sites. It's not good for you. So it's not like a chauvinistic thing. I have the balls to tell them I fucking love you. It's not good. I'm not gonna bring up who the name was, but we had I made a porn star cry in the house, and she was doing drugs, and I could see that she looked very sad. So I grabbed her and was like, sweetheart, you don't have to do this. And she like got.
Are you that guy?
Yes. He's that fucking guy.
Captain Save a Ho.
All the hoes.
No, but
All
you
the hoes
can't tell
gather
her
to me.
porn
Gather
star
to me,
stop doing
hoes.
cocaine because she loves Jesus while she's doing cocaine.
It has nothing to do with Jesus. It has to do with her. And I know all the guys are like, yeah, dude, keep doing the blow. And so you could blow me later. And I was like, no, dude, like, I know, and I'm gonna get smoked for this too. Not all, but some girls are in that field because they had traumatizing. past.
A lot of them.
So I don't want to be a guy that's just gonna watch that by. Listen, if I get canceled, at least I go home broke, but I could go to bed, tuck myself in, and know that I'm a good fucking person. That girl might hate me, but I'm the only guy who has a real ball to tell her, like, sweetie, I promise you, where you're going with this is not going to end well for you. I want you to be. What do you guys think?
But you know what? I've done that. I've done that before. Like, I've seen situations where it was like, you know, sex worker and guys, and I'm like, go home. You know,
Well, dude, think about the song. Rock said, you don't have to put on that red light, right? Like the police. I mean, people have been telling sex workers not to be sexual for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
People are gonna do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
You in a relationship?
yeah, I'm married. I've been married for since 2014, but I've been with her since high school. So we've been together for 24 years.
Like,
Whoa.
Steph Curry type shit.
Yeah. We've been together 24 years, and we've been married since 2014. Yeah, so it'll be 8 years this year.
Congrats.
Wow,
bro.
that is.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But what about kids? No.
4 daughters.
Oh shit! I don't
I got
know.
4 daughters.
Wasn't in the fucking in the PDF. By the way, send your applications to Logan Put.
Yeah, my oldest is 14.
Oh damn.
Wow.
Does it
that's
scare you to
remarkable.
raise a girl in this type of society?
Hell yeah. You know what I mean? You know, I used to say I had to change my mindset because they always say a guy that has a bunch of girls used to be a player in a past life. You know, very true. You know, I lived a good life. You know, even throughout the 24 years of being with my wife, we did a lot of things I had no business doing. But it's like, yeah. But I look at it different. I'm just like, because my other homeboy, he told me that, you know, when you have a daughter, your life is going to change. You're going to be blessed in ways you couldn't imagine. And over the past 14 years of me having 4 daughters, like, you know, my life has been incredible, you know?
They soften you up a little bit?
Oh, very much so. You know, but you know what it is? I have to change how the way I was parented, the things that my pops in particular, the way he parented me, it was like all discipline. You know what I mean? Like it never was through the lens of love. It was never through the lens of empathy. It was never through the lens of even, I think, seeing me as a human. It was just through discipline. Do as I do, you know, do as I say, don't do as I do, because that would always be my thing for my pops, because, you know, he dealt with his own substance abuse. He fucked with crack, cocaine, you know what I mean? He didn't fry it, just did the powder, right? And, you know, he was in and out of rehab, but eventually he got his shit together. But he was selling drugs too, and that's what I used to do when I was younger. And so when he found out that I was doing it, he was, of course, on me not to do it. But I'm like, bro, you do it. He's like, don't do as I do as I say. And it's just like, that don't work. Like, kids learn from your example, and kids learn from your action. So, like, my parenting style is totally, totally different than the way I came up. So it's probably because I got girls, but also because I understand, like, that shit our parents was doing to us when we were younger, that shit don't work.
Don't fly.
No, beating the shit out of us. Like, I used to get beaten.
We talk about this
I
all
used
the
to
time.
get beaten, like extension cords. Go pick your own switch. All that shit don't. Damn, that shit don't do nothing.
They ever
but-
lay out the weapons in front of you and have you choose? Belt, hanger.
That's what the picking your own switch was. Go pick your own switch. You know how cruel that is? You want me to go outside and pick something for you to beat me with?
But now that people are still trying, people are trying to bring it back. And I want to ask you this question really quick. What do you think about the idea of kids being taught not by their parents, but by TikTok. And right now, there's a very specific person. George is already rolling his eyes. I want to ask you about this person. What would you think if you had a son and he being taught by a man by the name of Andrew Tate?
I don't know who Andrew Tate is.
Okay, wow. Okay, well, let's get this
But
conversation.
see, that's the thing too, right? When you're like my 14-year-old, I can be like, hey, that's Oprah. She's met these people, right? She's met the Oprahs of the world, and then she's like, oh yeah, I did a book report on her. But then it'll be like, oh, that's such and such from TikTok. That's such and such from YouTube. Like, I'm gonna go home right now and be like, yo, you know who Andy Tate is or whoever? And she's
Andrew
gonna be like,
Tate.
oh yeah, I know who that is.
She will. So really quickly, he's basically a guy that's trying to bring back that old school style of male alpha nature and just, everybody being born to be a killer and born to be a fucking workhorse and putting aside all of the thoughts about, mental health and all that kind of stuff and kind of bringing us back to a 1940s, 1950s mindset.
Yeah, who heard him?
Who hurt him? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know him, but who heard him? Like, he sounded like he's clearly still dealing with some things he hasn't, unpacked.
It's a good question. He talks a lot about in his stuff about the importance of or the idea of the father not being involved and that being an okay thing. So the dad just not being out working, traveling, making money, not being in the child's life.
That's some bullshit. Like, listen, man, the first time I ever cried in therapy was because of daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, daddies fuck us up more than anybody, because that's the first man that we really want validation from. Like, we live in an era that's constantly seeking validation now through social media. They want it from strangers, but as men, that's our first person we see that we want to stamp us, to give us that cosign. So when he doesn't give us that, like, that shit'll fuck with you when you get older. You know what I mean? So I realized when I got older, like, that a lot of the issues that I had came from issues with my pops. That's why I love on Kendrick's album, he got that song,
Father issues.
is it called Father Issues?
Pretty sure it is, but
Or Family Issue? It's something.
On the new shit on Steppers.
Yeah, it's that
Great album.
I've never amazed. I think it's the most important hip hop album of all time. But I've never heard a man unpack issues with his father like that on a record. You know what I mean? And I was like, I was glad that he did that because a lot of us got issues with our pops that we don't talk about.
Isn't it wild how like the thought of your dad telling you that he's proud of you is like such a fucking beautiful
Man.
Like it's like you hear it from your mom, you hear it from your
Oh.
auntie, but when your dad says, "Yo, I just want to let you know, I want to tell you that I'm proud of you, bro," it's like everything inside of you, that child just like breaks down for a second.
That's all you want. Like, that's literally all you want. If I would have got that when I was young, that shit would have saved me a lot. Like, I remember my pops was cheating on my mom, and I confronted him about it. And I'm like, yo, you out here cheating on my mom? I was like 17 at the time. He looked at me, he goes, oh, you only got one girl. He goes, when you get older, you'll understand.
He shamed me.
Yeah, right? So in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, you only got one girl?
I'm a pussy.
Exactly. No, that was, I promise you, that was my mind state. So it took me a long time. I'm talking about,
Me and you were the reverse.
What a
Uno.
thug.
oh,
He goes,
No.
oh, you only have one girlfriend? Wait, like this, dang.
so from 17 to about,
Okay. My man was
You
fucking.
snitched on yourself.
oh no, my wife knows. I've told you, I've said that before. Like, you know what I mean? Because I have no problem sharing that with people because I want people to learn from my mistakes. You know what I mean? And plus, I'm not an expert at anything. So if I don't talk about me, I don't have shit to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, yes, from 17 to 35, I had that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, being with one woman was not what I was supposed to be doing. You know, and you felt it internally. You felt the conflict, right? Because you're like, I know this isn't right.
Yeah.
I know that I shouldn't be doing this. I know I'm breaking her heart, blah, 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 but my pop said it. You know what I mean? And then you get older and your pops tells you, worst thing I ever did was leave your mom.
Oh,
Like, you know what I mean?
no.
You know?
Be like, Dad, I structured my life around one thing you said when I was a kid. It's so crazy how that works.
Damn, you
Exactly.
should have just looked at him and been like, damn, your girl left you.
They still together though. Yeah, he's still. So that'll make you think too. It's like, well, damn, maybe him and my mom, they ran their course, and he ended up with another woman, and they've been together ever since. So it's like, clearly that was meant to be, right?
That scares me. It actually terrifies me. The idea of being a father and doing or saying something that, to me is just the way I live. It's just
Yeah.
my lifestyle. But the way that a kid who is absorbing life and processing information, and then it's going to affect how they live theirs,
Yes.
the smallest thing can have the craziest, like, cataclysmic evolution.
Butterfly effect.
Man.
It's insane, man. Like
Man.
like stuff from childhood still haunts Jake specifically till this day. It's part of the reason why he's my brother, who you guys had on the show, I believe.
Yeah, we had Jake on Breakfast Club back in the day.
Way back when. That was crazy. But part of the reason he's so fiery, right, is because of these like little impetus events that happened when he was a kid.
Yes.
My dad, my dad is he's a character, and he's bold, he's stoic, he's headstrong. Like real man's man. Imagine a lumberjack. Like he works for me actually. He's my groundskeeper at my ranch. We stuck him in a mountain basin because he doesn't quite fit in
Not
society.
groundskeeper. That's not his title. That's not,
He doesn't fit in. like
he's like the CEO.
I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. He's the CEO
of the ranch. That's what I'm saying. Don't groundskeeper him. He's not
Groundskeeper's a great title.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but he's not when it's not your job. GP runs the show there. He manages a lot.
You call him the CEO of Acres.
He's the CRO.
CEO of Acres.
CEO of Acres.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of things in me that he has that I like and that I want, that shaped who I am. I attribute all my successes to the work ethic my dad instilled in me, but I also see a lot of stuff in him that I have that I don't like.
That's the mind fuck. That's what it is.
So like, is it the therapy that helped you find those parts of your dad that you wanted to emulate, but also amend the parts of yourself that you didn't like that were becoming, not so nice.
Yeah, the therapy helped me to give myself grace and give him grace. Because when I started going to therapy and I started talking about it and I wrote about it in my second book was called Shook One: Anxiety Playing Tricks on Me, right? And I literally wrote that book, and it was literally just me talking about everything that I was learning in therapy, right? And I brought in a Dr. Ish Major, to give like these clinical correlations to the things that I was discussing. And so when I put that book out, I remember it was Thanksgiving of 2018. My pops called me. I was home in Moncks Corner, South Carolina for Thanksgiving. My pops called me and he's like, yo, I was reading your book, man. He was like, man, I dealt up with a lot of that stuff too, anxiety and depression. And, I was on 10 to 12 different medications throughout my life. I tried to kill myself back in the day. And he was like, they just started giving me a check. Like he's been getting a check from the state of South Carolina, like they call it a crazy check, right? And I was like, damn. And I remember asking my mom, like, yo, Pops was going through all of this. And she was like, I just thought he was playing crazy to get a check. Like, I didn't know that he was actually, dealing with these issues. And that same week, I had a cousin complete suicide. And he had tried to complete suicide like 3 times prior to that. Fourth time, he actually completed it. So I guess that caused my pops to have this conversation with me about his own mental health issues that he's been dealing with his whole life. So when I realized that, I just gave him grace because he's just a human at the end of the day. So we talk about not reducing people to their worst mistakes. We talk about not reducing people to their worst moments. Why would I do that to my parent? You know what I mean? Like he was a human just like I was a human. That wasn't the whole totality of him. And when he was coming up trying to raise me, he was dealing with all his own shit and just trying to do the best he could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I used to have to go visit my pops in rehab. You know what I mean? Like I remember my pops talking about the devil's after him and him sleeping with a gun and a knife by his nightstand because he thought that the devil was coming to get him in the night. But he was just dealing with anxiety, and then he was dealing with substance abuse to try to escape from that. So it's like it made me give him more grace. That's it.
Isn't it wild the amount of pressure that's put on like moms and dads? Like it's almost like when you have a kid, it's like expected of you to just be a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's so much pressure. Like you're like, dude, if I struggle myself with a lot of anxiety and a lot of mental illness issues that I've had my entire life, and it was the reason I abused substances as well. Those two go hand in hand, right? But it's like if I had a kid tomorrow, like Mike the sufferer, Mike the vulnerable, Mike the mental illness fighter, like all that shit kind of like goes away. Now you're a dad, bro. Like be a dad.
But no, all of those things you've learned, Mike, will help you when it comes to raising your daughter. Like one of the kids, you're gonna have daughters because you definitely were a
100%.
So I remember during COVID, my daughter came to me and she was in tears and she was like, she came to me and my wife and she was like, yo, I'm overwhelmed. Right? Because it was COVID. She's at home and they're doing work, work from school, from the house and everything. So I can understand why that was overwhelming. And I'm like, yo, I don't care if your grades slip. Like, none of us have ever experienced what we're experiencing right now. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I just want you to be good mentally. But the fact that she goes to therapy. You know what I mean? And we have these conversations. She had the language to be able to express herself.
Yeah, interesting.
If I'd have did that back in the day to my pops, like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. Boom! Punch in the chest, you motherfucker. You overwhelmed.
grades
You know what
up.
the fuck I do every day? I go to fucking work 50 hours a week. He wouldn't want to hear that shit. So it's just like you would have more empathy just because you got some of the tools.
Facts.
You know?
A trauma breeds empathy.
That's right.
Empathy is simply an output for the input that is trauma.
That's right.
That's why that's why the majority of people that are out there talking shit, hurting, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, are people. A lot of people that just haven't been through shit. Bro.
That's right.
Like when you go through that nasty
That's right.
shit, and every fucking day you're grinding
That's right.
just to stay alive.
That's right.
When you get to a point where you're comfortable in life, you look at things way differently. You see people that are struggling, and you feel for them. Like, yo, if I see somebody struggling, I have a conversation with them, I feel like I'm back there with them. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Because I've been there. That empathy is, or that trauma is just a necessary evil in life, and it breeds all the best things. Like some of the best things about you come from that trauma you've been through. Same thing
right.
about the both of you guys.
Bro, I don't fuck with perfect people.
Not me neither.
There's-
I just tweeted this
fuck with
last
people.
week. If you haven't been in the mud, I don't talk to you.
fuck with you,
Facts.
bro. I gravitate towards people who have been through some shit.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Same.
Like, cause
They have more character.
That's right. Because the person that's coming off so perfect and this and that, it's like, yo, this guy's lying.
Fuck
This
off,
girl's
facts.
lying.
I was about to
Not
say he's
true.
covering it up. He doesn't want you to see his
Yeah.
wounds.
Yes, the person that's you're putting it out there and letting you know, yeah, I did this and I fucked up. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying to be a better person every day. Those are the people I rock with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those people that come off as perfect, fuck you.
I,
Fuck you.
I know we're not supposed to say absolutes, but this is something I'm going to say is an absolute. Everything stems from the inside of a man. I don't care what you're taught in
Agree with
school. I don't care what you're taught online. If your parents teach you a certain element, that's staying with
I
you
agree
more
with
than
that.
any teacher and any friend that you ever had.
I agree with
So this laziness, adapting of like, oh, we're just gonna give our kids to the school system and have them take care of it. This is the reason why we're fucked up. Is because this school system might not be the thing that you want your kids to be picking up on. Because if I had to listen to everything a teacher taught me or my student like body or whatever the fuck it is, like the classmates said, it's a mixing pot, and you're not really learning what you're picking up. You're just absorbing it and spitting it out. I also want to take a few steps back to say, with empathy comes from trauma.
Yeah.
I also feel like empathy comes from wisdom.
Yes.
Well, what gives you wisdom? Trauma.
Trauma.
Not
Going
always.
through
I didn't
shit.
really go through a situation for a man to get what you dealt with, but I do understand because I took the time to learn it.
True.
Educate myself on how this man could see this. I think everything is from perspective. If you could take the time to really put yourself in his shoes and take the time to really learn from where this guy is coming from, you may never be able to go through it, but you could damn sure understand.
And you can get like, I feel like you can get a percentage of it, but going through it is what makes it. You know what I'm saying? You could learn all day. You could have somebody tell you about what it's like to be homeless, be a drug addict, be a mental illness sufferer, go to war. But like, I don't know what it's like to go to war. I never fought in war before. I would never even, you could tell me all day about being a veteran of Vietnam. I don't know what it's like to be in the trap, fall into a fucking trap, see my unit get lost to the Viet Cong. So like, I agree to an extent, but I think going through shit in life, really going through
I was
is
gonna
what-
say
is what causes it.
just kind of like to bridge
I'm gonna
this
pee
gap.
really quick, sorry.
Of
Drink
course you
prime,
are.
drink
Of course
prime.
you are.
Drink prime.
Drink prime. Just to bridge the gap, Mac, actually, who's in this room, said a quote that I like. Experience is the bridge between knowledge and wisdom. You can have knowledge, you can know things, you can read a book, right? You can watch and collect stats and things you've seen. But when you've experienced it, when you've lived it,
That's when you get the wisdom.
that's when you get the wisdom, right?
That's what they say. Smart people learn from their own mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes of
others.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, I agree with everything. I agree with both ways. Like, you live it, you experience it, you got a different understanding of it. But
It's-
I can still understand it by just watching. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not like that, man.
Word.
I gotta touch the fucking stove. I can't believe it.
You never smoked crack.
Never smoke crack.
You never did heroin.
No jokes.
So, because you've seen.
I guess you're right.
Yeah,
I guess
you
you're
see-
right.
You've seen
Hey, that's twice you blew my mind. You shit on Logan Paul's theory that he's been saying, I need to touch a furnace. You're like, you do crack?
But no, you
haven't done crack, bro.
But there's just certain things you see, and you see the impact
right.
that they have on
You're
people,
right.
and you're like, I'm not fucking with that.
You're
shit.
right.
You know what I mean?
So weird. Some demons entice me more than others. I don't know why. For me, it was so obvious to not do drugs. It
Yeah.
was so obvious. And then other things, the fuck ups in my life was obviously not obvious.
Yeah.
You know, it's It's just weird.
You know, I want to touch on the parents thing real quick, man. You know what's so interesting? The one thing that we all would benefit from is realizing that our parents had a life before they were our parents. You know what I mean? And I think that's why it's good to have conversations with your parents about that life that they had before they were your parents.
I love doing it now that I'm an adult. It's. I mean, maybe it's a little late, but you know, I hear stories from my mom and dad's upbringing in life that humanizes them. You know, for the first time as an adult, I sat down with my dad and he was telling me stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, you're not just my dad. At one point, you're just Greg. You're just a guy named Greg in Ohio doing Ohio shit.
Trying to get some pussy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm serious.
Just a guy.
Like literally, you was just a dude. Like that, like you said, that stuff humanizes your parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and it'll allow you to give them, you know, more grace, and you won't be so hard on yourself when you know you have kids.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm shocked y'all don't have no kids. None of y'all got kids yet?
Me? I might. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Damn.
Yo, I'm loving all this parental shit. Can we talk about some bullshit for a
Let's
while?
do it. I love
like
bullshit.
Just some absolute bullshit.
Let's do it.
I saw a take of yours with talking to Schultze.
My guy.
Shout out Andrew Schultz. Fucking crushed it with that special, bro.
Come on,
Mate,
man. He's
dude,
the GOAT. He been the GOAT.
Yeah.
wild. What do you think? First of all, what do you think about what he did with that special and everything? Like,
For me, man, it's for me it's a little different for me because like that's my friend, right? And me and Andrew been doing Brilliant Idiots for like a decade now. But we started on Guy Code together. So that's when I first met Andrew. I first met Andrew on MTV2's Guy Code like 11 years ago. And he's just one of those dudes, soon as you meet him, you fuck with him. You know what I mean? His energy is just so pure. He don't give a fuck about what comes out of his mouth. He's smart. And he keeps you laughing. So it's just like, I remember we were all on a flight to LA together. This is the first time we ever hung out, kicked it, anything. We was all on a flight to LA together. We got off the flight in LA. We ended up, I think, taking the same car service to the hotel. And we just ended up kicking it like that whole weekend. Like, ended up hanging out with Rihanna, stupid shit. Like, shit that, unbelievable shit was happening that weekend, right? But it's just like, I knew, like, this dude is, he's got it. Like, he's a star. So it's like when I launched the Brilliant Idiots podcast, I wanted Schultz to be my co-host on the show, right? But I've never looked at it as co-host. We're both the hosts of, you know, the Brilliant Idiots. So to see him, you know, a decade later be exactly what a lot of people thought he was going to be, or at least me, I definitely thought he was going to be that. It's unbelievable. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like he's not doing anything that I didn't think he was not capable of doing. It's just the fact he's doing it and telling everybody suck his dick while he's you know what I mean? Because I saw that too. I saw when they was fronting on Schultz. I saw when Schultz was going to auditions and you know, nobody was picking him up, and he would be upset about that shit, like coming back like, fuck man, I can't get no gigs, blah, 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 this and that. Then I remember when he had his era where everybody thought he was like a political pundit. They thought he was on some Ben Shapiro. They thought he was Ben Shapiro. And I was like, but then he like, fuck that. He got back to his comedy, man, and just started like treating that shit like a mixtape rapper, like putting out the content online, putting it on social media, and it just took off for him. So to see him in this position, man, I remember when we went to Radio City, when he sold out Radio City those 2 nights, fucking Bill Gates came to his show.
Let's go, dude.
And he's a kid from Manhattan, New York that sold out Radio City. Like, I told Andrew 2 years ago, I was like, yo, you're gonna be the biggest touring comedian in the country, in the world. Like, what's his name? Russell Brand, I think it is.
Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell, like what Russell Brand was doing and nobody knew it, but he was like the biggest stand-up comedian in the world, making all of this money. That's gonna be Schultz. And it's gonna be even better for Schultz because all of these corporations, they're gonna have to bow down.
Yep.
Because he got the audience.
Yep.
So they might think he's edgy and offensive, but they gotta fuck with him.
I watched him. I opened up for him, so I got to watch him do these sets. Like, bro,
You do Christian stand-up or something?
No, he gets in trouble for it because his jokes aren't so Christian.
yeah.
Oh.
So again, I'm not perfect.
Okay.
I
He knows when to ask
also,
Jesus
but
for
I have been
forgiveness.
working on it. I've been trying to clean my mouth because,
Okay.
like, I don't want to preach and swear at the same time. I'm trying. It's just fucking hard, bro. You know
I get
what I'm
it. I get it.
So no, I was watching him, and dude, when I was studying him, I watched a lot of comedians perform. When I was watching him perform, I go, dude, he's saving comedy. Like, he's saving comedy. It's like watching dude, he was making fun of Mexicans straight to Mexicans' faces, and they were just dying of laughter with him. And I go, this is fucking comedy.
love it.
When you can shoot this shit with different races. Bro, for a white guy to be talking the way he's talking, my dick hit in my ass for him. I was
He's
like,
wild. He is
shot.
wild.
I had an idea for him. I don't want to say it, but it was something like that. But the title was White Devil's Advocate, and it was fuck it, because he does it now anyway. It's just like I want to see him in a room with all of those people he talks about. Just so it'll be like switching up, right? So it's like when he's talking about Mexicans, it'll be a comedy show full of Mexicans. When he's talking about black people, it's a comedy show full of black people. When it's the disabled, a comedy show full of the disabled. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my God.
that shit
He's
could-
got enough content to run whole shows for entire sensitive groups.
He could go off the head.
Bro, he told
like
the kid in
nasty.
a wheelchair to stand up and say it to his face. Bro, I was like, yo, there's no fucking way. But guess what the kid in the wheelchair did? Stood up.
laugh.
He rolled
Oh.
over, actually.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. No, he laughed.
He laughed. Yo, show now. He's. I get in arguments with
Stood up. It was a miracle.
I get in arguments with goats of comedy about
Actual
Andrew.
goats.
Yeah.
Who
Goats.
doesn't like Andrew?
No, it's not that they don't like him. It's just that like I'm telling them like, yo, this guy's on. He's coming.
Yeah,
he's on
he's
your ass.
coming
Like,
for you.
like you know, trust me, he's on your ass. I know what y'all think y'all doing is good, and it is. This guy's coming.
He's making a blueprint, a phenomenal blueprint. I think a lot of comedians should pay attention to what he's doing.
oh, they are.
He's
trust me.
honest,
Oh, they're watching.
especially you.
Of course. And you know what? It's crazy because, like, a lot of comedians, believe it or not, have big egos, bro. Huge egos.
Oh, yeah.
This guy has been so kind to me. Even though he's already popped, he's the new it guy. Every time I text him, he answers me back. Every time I call him, he'll meet with me.
I'll be
Like,
honest with
stuffed
you.
ideas.
It's because you're on this show, bro. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Don't take that away from him. He's so nice. But also, and not just to be just like giving him all this hype. He's a genius.
Nah,
When he
he is,
talks,
man.
he's very smart.
Very
he knows
smart.
about the shit he's talking about.
All right, that's enough. The reason why I asked about Schultz,
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't even
How we
about
get- how we get
Schultz.
here, how we get
The
here.
real,
He's
I
the
just wanted to
best
ask you
in the world.
because you had a take with him on Brilliant Idiots about 6ix9ine.
Yes.
I remember seeing it when it first came out, and you've had a certain stance on 6ix9ine, but a man by the name of Academics has had a much different stance. What's your relationship like with Academics? What do you think about him? Blah blah blah. So on and so
Act my man. I know Act for shit. I know Act for like 12 years. Like if you go back, Act the first interview Academics ever did with anybody was with me.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that was like 12 years ago. So Ack used to go to Rutgers University, and he used to, hit me up all the time, and I was like, yeah, come pull up, come do an interview, because I guess what you're saying about Andrew, that applies to me too. I started off as an intern, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like I started off as an intern in 1998 in Charleston, South Carolina. Like the only reason I'm in the position I'm in is because people looked out for me and saw things in me and was like, yeah, come do this, come do that. So it's like I always will return that favor. So I didn't know who Academics was 12 years ago. It was just like, he's a young kid at Rutgers trying to do his thing. I'm flattered that he wanted to sit down and have a conversation with me. So I did it. So it's like, I fuck with Ack. I like what Ack does. People have an opinion of Ack and they don't like Ack, but yo, I was that at one point. I was that guy that they didn't like, and they didn't like the things that used to come out of my mouth. So it's just like, who knows what Ack gonna be in 3-4 years? You got to give people the opportunity to grow. And I think he occupies a real unique space in the culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I wouldn't know who a lot of these people are if Academics wasn't talking to them, early on. Like I remember, you can go back and watch old Academic videos on YouTube, and he's talking to these guys when they didn't have dreads and tattoos. You know what I mean? He's talking to the little Uzi Vert way early, and the young boys way early.
He's
So-
got the eye for it.
yeah. So it's just like, yo, you got to respect the lane that he's built. And as far as 6ix9ine, that was just me being old enough to know. Remember we talked about smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others? I knew where that was going. Like, there was only two ways for that to end. You knew either going to end up in jail or you going to end up dead. One of the two. I told him that on his first Breakfast Club interview. Literally, like, it's inevitable. And that's what happened. He ended up going to jail,
Was that that interview got chopped up and memed a ton,
Oh,
right?
yeah. It was two of them. He came twice. He came once.
Is that the one he was like pounding the table?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was two of them because the second one was the weekend he got arrested. He came on a Friday. Feds picked him up like that Saturday or Sunday.
Well, didn't he say like they can't get me or some
Yeah.
shit? Yeah, that was it. They ain't never gonna get me. Yeah.
Like, remember you told me you was going to jail? I should have been like, well, it's not too late for that because he literally got picked up that weekend. You know what I mean? But even him, like, I wish him the best. Like, I don't want any harm to come to any of these people. Like, you know what I mean? I want these people to make all the money that they can make and live the lives that they want to live. The only thing I be trying to tell the younger generation is that you don't got to go through all of this bullshit to get there. like learn from the people who came before you. Like, you're not going to reinvent the wheel when it comes to certain
Yeah,
things.
but and just back to what me and George were going back to about before. It's like There's the hot stove. Here's them touching it.
Yeah.
Yo, don't touch the hot stove.
Yeah.
Tss, don't touch the hot stove. Tss. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are not going to learn until they do the shit themselves, no matter how many
Yeah.
times you tell them to be careful. By the way, they might not even learn 100 times after going through it themselves. They might still keep doing it. You know what I'm saying?
And the shit that really clouds that is the clout, is the money, is the fame, is the notoriety, is
Drugs, all that. A lot of it.
I think you're a great example of that, Logan. You and Jake, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of shit people gave y'all shit for back in the day, and then y'all have grown to be actual businessmen. Like, y'all are doing things that people can, like, tangible things people can hang their hat on and say, oh, okay, he's in the WWE. Oh, he's boxing. Like,
I think it's really interesting how that works, man. It's like, you know, back in the day, it was overlooked and forgot about that. We were just kids.
yes.
Like actual fucking children who also matured mentally much slower, especially mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
much slower than the average kids our age. Our dad did not raise us like that. Bro. You cried? No.
And y'all did it in front of the world.
Yeah.
And
so-
y'all did it to where at any given time you can pick this up and record every single moment. You know how fucked up all of us would be if we recorded every single moment when we were kids?
Life. Jail for
What?
life. Would not be
What?
here right now.
and even crazier,
That's you.
Jesus always had his back.
Perfect.
No, even crazier is the crazier thing, you get rewarded. More views, more money. How can we take this to the next level? What's the next most shocking thing? I answered that question.
Bro, they used to call me
in a
No,
bad
you gave an absolute answer.
An absolute,
Like, this
yeah.
is the most shocking
Yes,
thing.
and-
Here it is for
They
you.
used to call me a shock jock, right? Like, literally, they would call me. The Rolling Stones said I'm hip hop's Howard Stern,
Yeah.
right? They called me a shock jock.
It's a compliment.
So all of this wild shit I was doing, wild shit I was saying, I was getting rewarded for it. Then when cancel culture comes around, it's these same people that want to be like, he has to go, this and that. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Y'all was just rewarding me for this shit 5 years ago. So it's like, yes, to your point, it's like when you're getting rewarded for something, how do you know what's right? How do you You know what's
exactly
wrong.
Your bad behavior is encouraged by the worst motives that fuel people ever. Clout, money, fame, drugs, women. It's a nightmare. Have you seen Nope?
No, I haven't seen it. Nope. I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen it. I want to though. I haven't had an opportunity. I've been working, man. You know, this TV show back in production with season 2 of my late night talk show.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, it's called Hell of a Week. It's on Comedy Central every Thursday night at 11:30, right after the Daily Show. And so I've been back in production with that. So I really haven't had free time. Like I just got an opportunity to sneak away yesterday just to go check on my man Lil Duval because he got into a bad car accident.
saw that.
He's down in Miami, so I went down to Miami to check on him because he's down there rehabbing. And so I was in the fucking restaurant last night eating. And a dude came up to me and was talking to me, and he was like, "Yo, you say what you down here for?" And I was like, "Oh, I came down here to check Lil Duval." And I'm like, "He's good." I said, "Yeah, he's just rehabbing right now." He was like, "Yeah, man, I be seeing him. He smoked so much weed. I knew eventually he was gonna end up in rehab." I'm like, "No, no fucking rehab for weed, bro."
It's like that scene from Half Baked. You in here for some marijuana?
Yes. So it's
Bob
like-
Saget.
So I haven't had time. Is it good? Is it a good movie?
Okay, so here's why I wanted to ask this because
Oh, you tweeted that hot take. I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
super hot take.
Yeah.
Super hot. I was pissed off, bro. Hurt people. I was
Yeah.
hurt. I was hurt. I wanted to see a great movie, and I was just let down. Do I regret tweeting it? No. Started conversation. So, some people agreed, some people didn't. It doesn't matter. But a handful of reactions to that tweet were based in race.
Really?
Oh, a ton.
Dude. I
okay,
couldn't.
yeah, I get
I
you.
couldn't believe how many people were devolving the conversation to black versus white.
Interesting.
And even when Jake knocked out Tyron, he went on this one talk show.
Oh, you talking about with Carrie and Jamel? They were playing though.
Were they playing?
Yeah, they were joking. They were actually. That's when I realized how stupid the internet can be. No, that's not when I realized it. I knew this. But they were actually being sarcastic. Like they were.
Well, in that case,
joking.
it's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
But I don't think Jake.
Jake didn't know that.
Seriously,
Yeah.
she asked him. She goes, "Is it racist that you knocked out Tyron?"
No, that was not sarcastic. She
That's
seemed
why
fucking
she seemed
serious.
serious.
No, they were playing.
Are you sure?
In the context of jokery, that's hilarious.
I'm an aware person, dude.
No, they were.
Like,
No, that's a.
It's
Those are good
easy
friends. of mine.
real,
No.
bro.
Those are good friends of mine. And-
Oh, yeah?
So when I saw the reaction to it, I went to go look. I'm like, I know Carrie Jamel didn't say that.
Yeah.
shit. I know they were playing.
Yeah.
And so I went to go look, and then I actually spoke to Carrie. She was like, "Of course we were playing like that," but I could tell they were playing. It was a
Right,
joke.
right.
Like when you watching in context, she was like, "Was it racist that you knocked out Tyrone Woodley?" And Jake was like, "Wait, racism? Oh." But I can understand why he would react like that because of shit like this. The reaction you probably got.
well,
for Nope.
doesn't the Peel movies? Excuse my ignorance on this because I didn't see Nope. But don't the majority of Peel movies have an inherent racial motivation or storyline involved in
Yeah.
them, right? So
Yeah.
like Get Out, for example, was
Get Out definitely
deeply
did.
rooted in race, right? So I would assume Nope had at least some
It did. For
sure.
inherent
No, it
aspect
did.
of that.
Us
So
was more about poverty and the way the government, doesn't take care of poor people.
Yep. But my question is just like, so does a white, potentially the whitest person of all white people, having an opinion on a racially based or semi-racially based film have a racial connotation to that review? And I'm not. And by the way, I thought it was ridiculous that they retreated to that point. I'm with you, but I'm just trying to get into the mindset
I agree.
and
That's
understand
same.
why.
Well, I haven't seen the movie, but I will say the first people that told me that they didn't like the movie was black people. Those were the first people. Full disclosure.
They're like-
the first people that came to me and told me they didn't like the movie was black people.
They're like, yo, we gave Logan Paul shit online, but that
No.
movie sucked.
I would see black people on Twitter being like, "What the fuck you doing? Why does it need to go here?"
Yeah.
And I guess why I bring it up is because it hurts. It hurts.
I stopped. I didn't dig too deep because I stopped because I didn't want them to tell me what the movie was about. Because when I
Yeah.
saw what you said, I saw people saying this movie is about people like Logan Paul.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I don't want to. Let me stop.
Just a
reading
bunch of
before they
YouTubers
tell
been
me.
like racist.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was.
No, it's
strange.
about it's
Don't
about,
tell me what the movie's about.
No, but you don't even want the comparison.
I
what
don't
they're
even
saying?
want to
All right.
know. I don't even want to know. I'll see it for myself. But
I hear
stuff
you.
like that, I don't get caught up in.
I hear
man.
you.
Just
I try not
it's
to, but-
Silly. It's like,
yeah.
come on, yo. Everything isn't based on race.
Yeah.
It's an opinion on a movie.
Just because Burning Magnesium threw out a tweet didn't mean He's racist.
Go ahead and throw up a picture of burning magnesium here.
And when I read what you said, you didn't say anything about race. You gave like a detailed breakdown.
detailed. Like
But
that
it
was
did
the
come
thing.
from a racist point.
Get the fuck out of here.
I also remember art is subjective. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so if you look at a painting, I could look and be like, "What the fuck is this?" And the other guy's like, "I'll buy it." Like, so it's like you can't get mad at somebody, but the fact that they threw the race card, you know what I'm getting sad at? I'm getting sad at people just going to the last case scenario to get their fucking point across.
We go to the extremes.
Yeah.
And it's not, they do that with race, they do that with homophobia, they do that with transphobia. Like, we can't even have any honest conversations about nothing without somebody just labeling you.
Well, especially with
something.
social media elevating that.
Yes.
And all the thumbs up. And if I make this a race thing, I can get everybody that also makes it a race thing
Yes.
on my side
Yes.
to upvote me. Now my voice is stronger. I'm an important person
Yes.
on Twitter for the
That's
day.
that echo chamber, yeah.
And we talk about our bad behavior being rewarded. Their wokeness is being rewarded.
100%.
By the way, I hate wokeness. I think all woke people need to take a nap. Like, you need sleep.
You need sleep.
When you don't get rest, you don't think straight. And some of this shit that we're hearing nowadays is like, you can't possibly believe that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you can possibly logically believe that.
So, some of it is getting a little, it's diluted.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You have to stand up for what you believe in at this point, and that's what I'm doing. And I get toasted for it all the time, but like, dude, it's at what point you're either gonna be standing up for something you do believe or don't believe, and you're gonna get burnt regardless.
I like what you listen to what you said. You said stand up for what you believe in. That's my problem. I don't think that they believe the shit that they're standing
Nah,
for.
hell no.
Oh.
Hell
I don't
no.
think they really believe that. I think they're only doing that because they know it's gonna get them retweets, gonna get them likes, gonna get them reposts.
We are sick people, bro.
Yeah.
Bunch
Think
of
about
Mike
what you
Malads.
just said. Think about what you just said for a second, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm gonna make this person seem like a racist to get likes
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
look at what you just said. Like, bro, think about what you just said.
Yeah.
That happened back in the day. If you didn't like somebody back in the day, she's a witch.
Oh, Salem
They
witch
would
hunt.
burn your shit up.
Well, that's
Right.
back.
But
in the
not,
day.
yeah, but not to like.
Back in the day.
No,
Right.
but yeah, but that shit still carried, bro.
Oh, it does.
I don't like the way. You know what? That guy's a witch.
It's people that actually make money off this. It's people that make money based off people's outrage. If they can keep stirring that pot and keep people just like pissed the fuck off all the time. But the problem with that is if everything causes outrage, then what's outrageous? Because it feels like everything causes
That's what I'm
outrage.
saying. I think that's where we're at and why the movement has lost a little bit of steam because everyone's up in arms about fucking everything. Everyone has something to say about something, and eventually we're like, we've heard it. We don't
Well, and
care.
the
Like,
worst
that's
part
the
is
law.
Is it? Do you think they want us to be so divided? The outrageous thing is not even that outrageous. People that are controlling this whole thing want to do
Who's
outrageous.
that?
Control
What are you
it.
talking about?
The
The
Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Close your third eye. Close your third eye. Close your third eye.
That's right. No, it's true though. It's like we're not even paying attention to the real shit that's going on in the world that's really impacting us because we so focused on who said that.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
bro,
Like Logan's
people-
fucking movie review.
It's kind of one of these things. Hey, look over here. Look over here.
Bro, Johnny
Look,
Depp,
Johnny
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard had the nation
Oh,
glued to the TV
Captivated.
screen.
No, that was
hold
cool.
on a second. 4 weeks. Every single fucking thing that happened, they were captivated by. Uvalde, 3 days.
yes. Yo,
Sandy Hook, 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are numb to children getting shot in the classrooms. But if somebody says we don't like Nope, we're about to talk about that for a week, bro. Straight.
because we're
He was
obsessed with
racist,
celebrity.
bro. That's fucked up.
To Mike's point, I was watching television and there was a shooting at a hospital that CNN was
Yup.
reporting. I forgot where it was. There was a shooting at a hospital. And then all of a sudden, breaking news. And I'm like, well, what the fuck else happened? Right?
Or breaking-
I'm like,
Yes.
what the fuck else
Yes,
happened?
yes.
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard verdict is coming. I'm like, yo, we're
Come
done.
on.
We're
Come
done.
on, it's over.
We're done.
We're toast.
It's over.
Over.
And it wasn't even that good. I mean, think about this.
Cocaine in the corner.
It's light.
Hey, no, I know. No, listen, you shouldn't be breaking the news of a school shooting, but like afterwards.
I'm just, when it comes to celebrity drama, like I remember being old enough to when fucking O.J. Simpson and the Bronco was breaking news. That was some shit.
That shit was crazy.
You ain't gonna see 5 documentaries and 18 movies from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Give Netflix
And a budget.
Give Netflix time.
You know how much content has come from that OJ case over the years? You ain't getting that from Johnny Depp Amber Heard. I guess 'cause that's my producer brain. That's what I think of when I look at these stories. Like, how many years of content?
How impactful is this really?
Yes.
Interesting.
That Johnny Depp Amber Heard shit wasn't.
Interesting lens. I'm gonna start applying that.
Well, no, the only reason why not the only reason, but one of the reasons why that trial was, I mentioned this the other day, so kind of important was a lot of people are calling that the final kill shot to the
Me Too
to
movement
the
time's
Me
up.
Too movement, to the Me Too movement, exactly.
Well, that's the problem, right? We shouldn't be looking to kill any of that. We should be looking to just have honest conversations about what's going on in this world. That right there would have been a great conversation to have about how two parties can both be toxic. How two people can be toxic for each other. Like that should have been a conversation where men are pointing the finger at women, women pointing the finger at men. Let's just have a conversation about how we're all probably in unhealthy relationships that we should have let go of a long time ago. Because if not, it can lead us down past that.
Even if she was like completely in the wrong, she's crazy. Do we just stop there, or do we go? How did she get there?
No, I don't. Well, that's a deep dive.
That's
But
what
like,
I'm saying, but
but
there's
like,
always
I
a
would.
conversation.
My question would be like, I never looked at it like, yo, this Amber Heard is crazy. Amber Heard's crazy. She's doing all of it. Johnny, I'm sure, was doing some shit. He was doing some
Oh yeah,
shit.
it was
It was
all
a
came out
toxic
the correlation.
relationship. It was a toxic relationship.
Both sides, yeah, both sides. You know, it's funny, man. I think it's all about power. I think it's bigger than race, bigger than gender, bigger than sexuality, any of that stuff. It's just all about power. That's it. It's an abuse of power. All of these things that we're talking about are just an abuse of power. And if you give any one person too much power, any one organization too much power, that power will ultimately corrupt said organization, said person.
I love that. That's what I think. There's not enough people. Everybody's talking about right versus left. Why somebody's voting this way? Why somebody's voting that way? Power and greed.
That's it.
That's it. Those
That's
two
it.
things. You know what I'm saying? And we're not addressing it.
They're fighting for power. Republicans and Democrats are fighting for power.
Personal power.
That's all it is. They don't care about the people. They care about personally being in power. That's all. That's the biggest thing, man. Like that's why I always say, like the more money you get, the more status you get, fame, whatever it is. If you're ever put in a position of power, don't abuse that shit, man. Don't abuse it. I've seen men do it. I've seen women do it. I've seen days do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't abuse power. That's it.
I'm gonna keep that in mind when I run for president. Thank you.
And you know what? Do it now. Do it while there's still a celebrity wave, for
Facts.
presidents. You know what I mean? You might have to do it. You're not old enough yet.
Got a little bit.
How old are you?
27.
Oh, yeah, you got like, you can't do it till you're
8 years.
35.
Yeah, 8+ years. Plus that's
This year, this would have been your year. This gonna be your year. Like it literally could have been because of no campaign.
I'm fired up for the campaign.
You got the Senate, you got, they're gonna have to win fucking Biden.
I don't want to see neither one. I don't want to see.
No, hell no.
I'm so over. I'm over politics, and I say that, but I'm more into what we can do as a people to help each other. I can't rely on them anymore. And even when we do need to rely on them, I still want to know how to galvanize people to put pressure on them, because I think that's the problem with.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?